Hello everyone. Good morning dear students. Today we are going to discuss topic solar cell class 12th physics chapter 14th. Solar cell. It is basically a PN junction which generates EMF. EMF means voltage when solar radiations fall on the PN junction. It works on the principle of photovoltaic effect. It means solar energy is directly converted into electric energy without any mechanical effects. Junction area is kept much larger for solar radiations to be incident on it to generate more power. A simple solar cell is shown in figure. This is the simple construction of solar cell. It has two parts A and B. A part is showing typical PN junction solar cell and B part is showing its cross-sectional view. Now we are going to discuss it in detail. This is the same diagram, solar cell. A P silicon wafer of about 300 micrometer is taken over which a thin layer of thickness 0.3 micrometer of N silicon is grown on one side by diffusion process. Means top layer is of N type and bottom layer is of P type. Thickness of bottom layer is 300 micrometer and top layer N type, its thickness is 0.3 micrometer. Below the bottom layer, a metal contact is there. Other side of P silicon is coated with a metal which is called a back contact, and on the top of N silicon layer, metallic grid is deposited which is called front contact. These two contacts, metal contacts, are provided for further connection in the circuit. The metallic grid occupies only small fraction of cell area, about less than 15%, so that light can be incident on the cell from the top, because it will work only when light will fall on the junction. This is the circuit where we are using the solar cell. EMF is generated in three basic processes. These are called generation, then separation, and then collection. Working of solar cell can be explained by these three processes. First one, generation. Generation of electron-hole pairs due to light of energy h nu greater than energy band gap close to the junction. When this light energy, or you can say solar radiations, fall on the junction, electron hole pairs are generated at the junction or very close to the junction, and then these electrons and holes are separated by the electric field of the depletion layer. This is called separation. Then electrons are swept to N side and holes are swept to P side. This is called separation. Separation of electrons and holes due to the electric field of depletion layer. Then collection. Collection means electrons reaching N side are collected by the front contact and holes reaching P side are collected by the back contact. This is the same diagram. Thus P side becomes positive and N side becomes negative, giving rise to photovoltaic. In this way, that PN junction will behave as a cell. Okay, P side is at positive potential and N side is at negative potential. When an external load is connected with a solar cell as shown in figure, in this picture external load is connected with the solar cell. This PN junction is behaving just like a cell. It is solar cell. A photocurrent IL flows through the load. When this solar cell PN junction is connected with any external load, current IL will flow through that external load. This is the graph. A typical IV characteristics of a solar cell is shown in figure. In this picture, voltage is taken along x-axis and current is taken along y-axis. IV characteristics of solar cell is drawn in fourth quadrant of coordinate axis. Here graph is drawn in fourth quadrant. Why it is so? This is because a solar cell does not draw any current, but it supplies the current to the load. Semiconductors with band gap close to 1.5 electron volt are ideal materials for solar cell fabrication. Solar cells are made with semiconductors like silicon having energy band gap 1.1 electron volt, gallium arsenide GaAs energy band gap is equal to 1.43 electron volt, cadmium telluride CdTe energy gap of 1.45 electron volt, copper indium selenide CuInSc2 energy band gap 1.04 electron volt, etc. These are the materials which are suitable for solar cell fabrications. Note, sunlight is not always required for a solar cell. Sometimes we think solar cell will operate only when sunlight will fall on them. No, it is not like that. Sunlight is not always required for a solar cell. Any light with photon energies greater than the band gap will do the job. Any light whose energy is greater than the energy band gap, that will do the work. Production of low cost photovoltaic cells for large scale solar energy is a topic for research. So we can think over it and we can do research further to produce low cost photovoltaic cells. Here is a question. What is the important criteria for the selection of a material for solar cell fabrication? Let us suppose we are doing the research to design new solar cells. What is the important criteria? Band gap energy, that should be 1.0 to 1.8 electron volt. The material should have band gap of 1 to 1.8 electron volt. High optical absorption. Material should be like that it should absorb the solar radiations falling on it. 10 raised to power 4 per centimeter. Electrical conductivity. Electrical conductivity of the material should be good. Availability of raw material. Raw material should be available so that we can design more and more. And it's low cost. Example 14.7 of your NCERT book. Why are silicon and gallium arsenide are preferred materials for solar cells? Normally the solar cells which we get in the market are made up of silicon or gallium arsenide. Why it is so? Answer is, solar radiation spectrum received by us is shown in figure. In this picture, in this graph, solar radiation spectrum which we receive from the sun is shown. Along x-axis it is the energy h nu in electron volt, and on y-axis it is the intensity of solar radiations which we receive from the sun. So maxima is obtained at 1.5 electron volt. The curve has maximum height. So maxima is obtained at 1.5 electron volt. For photo excitation, h nu should be greater than energy band gap. Hence, semiconductor with band gap near about 1.5 electron volt or lower is likely to give better solar conversion efficiency. So we should select the material whose band gap is very close to 1.5 or lower than this. silicon has energy gap of 1.1 electron volt and gallium arsenide has energy gap of 1.53 electron volt. Okay, both are in this range. According to this, we should think that the silicon is the best. But let us see. In fact, gallium arsenide is better in spite of its higher band gap. But dear students, here gallium arsenide is better. This is because of its relatively higher absorption coefficient. Okay, its absorption coefficient is more as compared to silicon. So this material is better than the silicon. If we choose materials like cadmium sulfide or cadmium selenide, okay, which is having the energy gap 2.4 electron volt. So we can use only high energy component of solar energy for photo conversion, and a significant part of energy will be of no use if we will select these materials, cadmium sulfide and cadmium selenide. So most of the solar radiations will be wasted, only very small solar energy will be used. This is the next question. Why do we not use material like PBS, lead sulfide? Energy gap is 0.4 electron volt, which satisfy the condition H nu greater than Eg, energy gap, for nu maxima corresponding to solar radiation spectra. So according to that, we should use the material like lead sulfide, which is having the energy gap 0.4 electron volt, much lower than that. So answer is, if we do so, most of the solar radiations will be absorbed by the top layer of the solar cell and will not reach in or near the depletion layer. So most of the solar radiations will be absorbed on the top of the cell. They will not reach the depletion layer. And for effective electron hole separation due to the junction field, we want the photo generation to occur in the junction region only. As we know that the solar cell works on the principle of generation, separation and collection. Separation is done by the electric field of depletion layer. If most of the radiations will be absorbed on the top, so in the depletion layer, no electron hole pair will be separated. This is the solar cell panel. So question is, what is solar cell panel? What is a solar panel? The term solar panel is used for a photovoltaic module, PV module we call it. A PV module is an assembly of photovoltaic cells mounted in a framework for installation. So solar panel is just a series combination of solar cells. A single cell will not provide sufficient voltage for the further operation. So many solar cells are combined in series, are connected in series to make solar cell panel, which is called solar panel or photovoltaic module, PV module. Photovoltaic cells use sunlight as a source of energy and generate direct current electricity. A collection of PV modules is called a PV panel, and a system of panels is an array. Arrays of a photovoltaic system supply solar electricity to electrical equipments for further operation. Uses of solar cells. So this is the solar cells or solar panels are used in solar power plants to generate electricity at large scale. These are the different vehicles where we are using the solar panels, solar devices. This is the solar car running with the help of solar energy. See carefully, solar panels are fixed in the front and at the back. This is the solar rickshaw. This is the solar train. See carefully, these solar cell panels are fixed on the roof of the train. This is the solar calculator. See on the top right, it is just a rectangular part, okay, just glass like. It is the solar panel. This is solar water heater. The most common application of solar energy collection outside agriculture is solar water heating systems. This is most commonly used. This is solar water pump. See carefully. These solar panels are fixed and there is a pump which is drawing the water from the ground. And these solar panels can be used anywhere in far-flung areas where it is not possible to supply the electricity with the help of wires. Then solar lights. These lights you can see in the streets or even at your homes you can use. These are the satellites. Satellites with solar panels. Watch it carefully. These are the solar panels which are supplying the electricity to the all the components of the satellite which are working. This is another satellite having solar cell panels. So in this way, we can use these solar cells, solar panels at different places where we are using the electricity. They are used to convert direct the solar energy into electric energy. Thank you. Have a nice day.